people say the most about you if you listen to the reviews?
Well, it's funny, right? Because I left the business for about 10 years and I was doing the DJ thing and I was doing the independent filmmaker thing. And then I came back and quite often people are like, oh, well, I've heard really good things about you. And it's hard because are people really going to tell you that they heard really bad things about you, right?
They hate you.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think, I guess that's one of the other things I'm really proud of is that overall, I consistently hear that I've got a really good reputation after 30 years. And I don't think that that's something that's easy to do. So I think primarily just being professional, like showing up on time, having a good attitude. There's some individuals in this business that it goes back to that one thing of like not having any humility. And like I said, I don't think probably in my early years I did it as well as I hope I do it now. But I think, just kind of being down to earth, accepting when you are wrong, knowing your lane to stay the fuck in is a big deal in life.
The exit lane.
Exactly, the exit lane. I like that. Stage left. But yeah, probably just, as far as I know, I think that a lot of people just think I'm a good business person and that I'm professional. And I work really hard, so I second that.
Those are the meetings. So where do you think with, the 30 years you've been in the business, you've seen things obviously change quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where do you think the adult industry is now? And do you see any need for a change for any reason?
Well, it's interesting because it's impossible if you've been in this business as long as I have not to, and especially when you've left and then you come back, just to kind of understand where you sit, to have that humility again in the industry on multiple levels. You kind of have to, take the lens and, focus on this and then bring it and pull it back out and have a better perspective. And like one of the things that that kind of behooved me was when I came back and I went to the AVN Awards, like, oh my God, the fucking red carpet line is so long. Like, what the fuck? And who are all of these people, And so, back in the day, porn was the main show, the matinee, and now it's not anymore. Webcam is much bigger than porn is, and so I needed to have a little humility on the red carpet because I was like, why are all these, people that are not porn stars on the red carpet? They're like, oh, well, they're webcam people and da 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 da. So I needed a little bit of a perspective adjustment when I came back to understand where porn's placement is and where people's perception of it is. Because then I had heard, quite a few webcam people more or less say that they felt that they were more of the stars than the porn stars were. And so all of this, I kind of had to go, oh, so things are really different from what they used to be. And not to say whether it's better or worse, it is what it is. And I need to make sure to adjust my attitude to fit where things are at this moment. And I think, and did I think where it's going or if just things need to be changed?
No, if you see any need for a change from, obviously that you've experienced a lot of changes in the business, but is there anything that you would maybe focus on that you think needs to change within the business itself as today?
Well,
with the advent of OnlyFans and all the different platforms now that weren't available when you first started.
Probably the same thing that was back then that is still to this day. And that is respect for the talent and the performer. I remember in my youths, there really wasn't very many female directors. Then there definitely wasn't that many female directors, producers. And then definitely wasn't that many female directors, producers, and doing their own distribution. That was less than one hand. And so I consistently would be talking to groups of men that own distribution companies or whatever. And I had the studio, and I had the website, and I had and I was the talent, all these different things, and I was producing and I was directing. And they would step on my toes to talk to a man that knew like a quarter of what the fuck I did. And, still to this day, you're still finding that same kind of thing of where these platforms don't respect the talent that's on them, that they actually are business people trying to run a business. They still assume that everybody's an idiot, and they give you the least amount of tools on these platforms to actually be able to run a proper business. Some of them actually listen to the talent, and loyal fans, thank you, listen to the talent and the things that they need in order to be successful on these platforms. But a lot of them just disregard what they have to say about, all different aspects of like the back end admin of being able to just breaking down a lot of the bookkeeping, sales numbers, all your numbers are like the most important thing, and like they give you like next to no information at all. So just having respect that talent nowadays, now almost everybody's a content creator, which means they are the producer, the director, the distributor, and most of them are having to do their own editing, their own graphic design. They're shooting it themselves, all these different things, and running the business themselves. They're like these one-woman shows, and they're still treating them like they're like some dumb bimbo that, doesn't need the tools that they need in order to be successful. So I think the more empowerment that the talent has and the right tools that they get, the more successful the platform is going to be as well. Because then the talent that's going to be on the platform is going to make more money, which means they make more money. I mean, you're seeing it more and more. I think Fansly is doing a really great job as well of listening to creators and giving them the tools that they need. And the more that we see that, overall, the better that this business becomes, so that everybody can just do what they need to do.
So having that in mind, what are your personal goals for the coming year?
So my personal goals for the coming year is I'm pretty focused on like one thing at this moment. So I was retired for 10 years, and I did a comeback at the end of like 2018. So 1 year before the pandemic. Great timing, Brittany. Not. So then I had to take a year off because of COVID, and then I had some complications with some plastic surgery on my boobies, and I had to take another year off. So just at the beginning of this year, I started my comeback all over again, and I'd lost the momentum from the work that I had put into it from the first year. So at the moment, I'm just working on becoming relevant again, getting all of my numbers and my fans up to a certain place to where I can retire again. Because obviously the more relevant you are, the more fans that you have, then you don't have to be shooting as much, and you can, go into platform land and, still be able to, financially take care of yourself. So, I'm not a spring chicken, but, GILFs are now trending. And I'm actually really enjoying it at this moment, being back in the business and doing what I'm doing. But right now I'm really focused on just trying to shoot as many scenes as I can and get my relevancy back up again, so that other goals that I have for long term can be met.
Okay. So what would you say